I have never been as bullish on crypto as I am right now. And for the most part, that's because of all the announcements that have been coming out. Like, for example, this one a few hours ago. Grayscale just filed a registration of securities with the SEC for its spot Bitcoin ETF. And yes, that's correct. You might have noticed I got myself something new. And it's right here. It's a freaking rocket! And the reason I bought myself such a rocket is to remind me that I should just be buying more crypto every single freaking day. Because you'll see it. You're gonna freaking blink and the ETFs will be here and prices will just propel out of this universe. And don't say I did not warn you. Anyway, if it was only one specific piece of news, I wouldn't have made this video. There's a ton of stuff going on. I'm gonna skip over everything to do with this, even though it's ridiculously interesting. No, but take a look. This is a few hours ago, $4.5 trillion asset manager Fidelity filed a registration of securities with the SEC for its Bitcoin spot ETF. And just slightly before that, Goldman Sachs was in talks to become an authorized participant for BlackRock and Grayscale's spot Bitcoin ETFs. And just before that, the SEC scheduled a meeting yesterday with the New York Stock Exchange, NASDAQ, CBOE to finalize comments on Bitcoin spot ETFs. And just before that, we had Bloomberg coming out stating that nothing is being showcased with regards to, I guess, evidence, proof, or whatever, that these Bitcoin spot ETFs would be denied. And just before that, Galaxy and Invesco released their Bitcoin spot ETF videos. This was all yesterday, all within the past 24 hours. But we've got more and more interesting things at that. And I recommend you guys to watch this video all the way through because a couple of things that I've found today are pretty concerning. And I wouldn't say this is concerning to everybody, but for the ones that are in this big group basket of people, this might suck. So press that like button and keep watching. First off, I'm gonna say we are noticing some advancements in the way that the United States is seeing all this crypto stuff. One interesting piece being this right here. The SEC says the Terra ruling shows cryptos are securities. And I don't want to be that guy who picks up the Ripple lawsuit every single day of the week to tell you that this is not necessarily true, but I gotta state here that the Ripple case was of such extreme proportion in terms of importance to the future of crypto. And it's many people that just don't realize that if it was not for Ripple winning their case, a lot of these statements would have severely more weight and could actually push crypto prices down significantly more than you might realize. But with regards to what I was just saying, there's a specific group of people that always seem to get screwed, and it's US investors. Matter of fact, I always say, guys, if you are trying to trade crypto, I always use Bybit, of which a link is down below. But you can get $30,000 worth of bonuses, and with the link down below, you can also get yourself a free $500 trade. Fun fact, you can't get this if you're in the US, because you guys are always screwed. It's the truth. But take a look at what's happening right now. This is happening in the background while people are sleeping, and nobody's posting about it for some reason. US crypto investors face lack of clarity as impossible to comply with tax reporting rules kick in. Apparently, this is just it. Americans now must report personal information when receiving crypto worth more than $10,000. But crypto investors are confused over who the rules apply to. And what's more confusing is what if you get an airdrop but you didn't even know? I'm just talking about it. I'm thinking about it. What if you didn't claim an airdrop, you just got it, you forget about it, and all of a sudden, soon enough, you're gonna be fined like crazy because it says right here, the stakes are high. Failure to report receipt of $10,000 worth of crypto could result in a mandatory fine of up to $25,000 or even up to 5 years in prison. But yeah, this is what came out just yesterday, at least yesterday. The crypto tax audit man posted new IRS reporting crypto reporting rules, section 6050I or L, I don't know, only applies to companies, LLCs, and sole proprietors, not individuals, with a source from Blockworks here. However, I would highly recommend everybody look into it properly. If you're thinking about paying your taxes, this is a major if. No, of course you gotta pay your tax, right? But in reality of things, I personally think this is too freaking difficult, and I'm glad I didn't continue becoming an accountant or anything because, you know, I'm not even in the US and I'm getting confused by all this. but I'd highly recommend just taking a look at it so you don't mess up. That's all I'm saying about that. Just be more careful than you might think you have to be if you're planning on doing everything according to the books, which I highly recommend if you're using crypto exchanges. If you bought your crypto from another person and your name is not registered or anything, I don't think you have any issue because they're never going to find out. But if you bought your crypto on a crypto exchange and it's still sitting in that account, they're sending that information through. So, it's not my cup of, pretty much empty, so I can't do that sound. It's not my cup of tea, but I recommend to be more careful. Anyway, I'd also like to point out that that's why we think the Coinbase lawsuits against the SEC are so important, because from a certain perspective, these will bring clarity on where exactly crypto is at. And the moment we know where crypto is at in terms of, I guess, the basis of, is it a security, is it a commodity, which coincides with the story like this one right here, and coincides with the tax story, people can comply properly. These guys, the government, don't want to lose out on your taxes. So from that perspective, it would seem so logical if they made everything as clear as day. But for some reason, they're not. But I understand already that if you mess up, you're going to be punished severely, which is why the Coinbase lawsuit is such a funny one. They're suing the SEC. They're going after the SEC. Funny enough, not only for themselves, but kind of also for the IRS, because now that crypto is vague, they're going to make less on taxes than if they made everything quite clear, which is always funny. And if you're wondering what the lawsuit stuff looked like, it's all the way back here. Promise made, promise kept. We are now on file with the Third Circuit to challenge the SEC's arbitrary and capricious denial of our petition for crypto rulemaking. We again appreciate the court's consideration, and we are, as of this point, still waiting for a court update on that. I don't know if there's any specific dates that we are looking out for in that. The final update was December 15th. And I think we're just waiting for an update with no specific date in the pipeline, but I could definitely be wrong on that. And now one thing I'll state that was kind of more true to the title of the video. First of all, tomorrow is when the timeline for the Bitcoin spot ETFs opens, which basically means from tomorrow on forward, Bitcoin ETFs could be approved. And there's a good chance that Bitcoin/cryptocurrencies are going to be pumping pretty severely over the next few days here, as anticipation of that follows. And depending on how hard crypto prices move upwards, there's a chance the actual ETFs themselves could be a buy the rumors, sell the news type of event. If crypto prices don't push hard, which right now seems pretty unlikely, I do expect, right now I think we're trading at 43,000 or so, that I expect we're back above 44, which is the first hurdle, and potentially even higher pretty quickly. I think all of this was just fake, like I said on our Dusty Trades channel. I don't think there's any good reason for prices to come down. Then again, this article is stating the real reason the Bitcoin fell down just now has to do with these things. Unraveling the flash crash beyond the ETF delay in crypto's turbulent ride. For example, Mt. Gox victims reportedly started to see some reimbursements and some r/Mt. Gox insolvency just went trending on Reddit, but apparently some people have gotten their payments over the last few days, which might have caused prices to dump. I don't know. I've not really found much information on that. The most logical pieces are indeed partially funding rates, indeed partially the Matrix report with regards to the Bitcoin ETFs being denied. And some other speculation, which again is just that speculation, is with regards to the ETF decision being positive, but the results being negative. That's all going around within the last few hours based on Gary Gensler's politics and the fact that it wouldn't make sense for the crypto market to do so well based on all these turbulencies, let's call it. But at the end of the day, it's just a guessing game. Nobody really knows for sure. All I'm quite certain of, you can see right here, crypto is just now at $42,000, 42.7. We're going to be back at 44, I think even 47, not too long from now. I think before the Bitcoin spot ETFs will even be approved, I think we're still going to see 47, which is why I've said on Dusty Trades, I only open long positions. I still see the worst case being 33,000 if we get a denial or if we get a buy the rumor, sell the news type of event. But the upside being so much more exciting that it's worth only going for long positions. Anyway, later today, I got something cool coming up. Many people have still been asking me, Dusty, which portfolio would you buy if you had like $300 or $1,000? So I'm going to make another portfolio video. And I just last night made a video on how to get started with crypto airdrops and where to look into. But for some reason, these videos do way less well than videos about the news. And I don't mind. But just note that these videos I put a lot of effort into, and they're extremely helpful because it can make you tens of thousands of dollars for like 5-10 minutes of work in the next few months. So it's very easy, and I don't understand why people skip out on these videos. I don't fully understand. You might think, oh, I'm not interested in that type of stuff. I know people that have so much money. They don't care about the money here. It's about being involved in crypto a little bit more because it takes a few minutes for tens of thousands of dollars. It's that crazy. And you might think, oh, it's not possible. It's not possible. I'm telling you right now, it very much is possible. So if you guys don't believe it, that's up to you. But I would tell you right now that if I could spend my 15 minutes a certain way, it would probably be to just go for these crypto airdrops a little bit and cash in that money. Because you're not sure, but it's worth your 50 minutes. That's all I'll say about that. Anyway, some deeper tutorials are coming out over the next few days. I'm building them right now as we speak. But first of all is that portfolio builder, and then we'll kind of go from there. But yeah, tomorrow could be a very exciting day. About 24 hours until the window opens, a little bit less even. And then we've got a window of 7 days. I'd say even just 5 days, where things are extremely interesting. And so don't sleep over the next week or so. Otherwise, you might miss it. And that's all I'll say about it.